I can look at Arabs. I can look at the ruling elites in India. I can look at people who classify themselves as some form of mixed or Creole, or I can anybody who identifies
Mhm.
consciously or subconsciously as white is participating
Mm-hmm.
within this power system. So their ontology, their culture, racism comes out of their being. It's who they are in reaction to other people. Because when you define yourself as white, you're defining yourself in contrast, right? So to me, whiteness by definition is racism. But for the so basically says for the ultimate purpose, basically they yeah, which consists of patterns of perception, logic, symbol formation, thought, speech, action, and emotional response as conducted simultaneously in all areas of people activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, religion, sex, and war. Full court press, as she says. Uh, for the for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival and to prevent white genetic annihilation on planet Earth, a planet upon which the vast and overwhelming majority of people are classified as non-white, black, brown, red, and yellow by white-skinned people. And all of the non-white people are genetically dominant in terms of skin coloration compared to the genetic recessive white-skinned people. So what I love about Francis Welsing's definition is it's a global definition of whiteness, where uh, I can look here in the United States at people who are Anglo-Saxons. I can look at the French. I can look at Arabs. I can look at the ruling elites in India. I can look at people who classify themselves as some form of mixed or Creole, or I can anybody who identifies
Mhm.
consciously or subconsciously as white is participating
Mm-hmm.
within this power system.
Mhm.
So in order for us to not participate within or reproduce the doctrine, right?
Mhm.
Then we need to be ourselves as African people. We need to be because we don't have a doctrine of white supremacy. Our ancestors did not have a doctrine of white supremacy. That doctrine was imposed upon us, and it systematically is imposed upon us when we participate in their institutions. And um, to the schooling point, and I'll leave it here. I think what happens is we send our kids to institutions that are controlled by Europeans and or racists, quite frankly. And the only way that this situation ultimately gets resolved is if we retain or we regain or keep control over the socialization of our children. And I think that's why the homeschooling movement is such a thing. And I also know if we controlled our own schools and our own institutions, that's another alternative too. So I don't see white supremacy as total. I think it's totalizing. It can seem totalizing because if we don't know where an alternative place for us to nourish ourselves and facilitate our own development, if we don't make those kinds of spaces and liberate those spaces for ourselves, then we're dependent on the plantation spaces produced by these white people and these races. So